The Outlanders Journey. Tier 1, Level 0. Chapter 3. Arc. You don't want to be alone at night. This temple, this room, this bed, this situation. All of it's so unfamiliar and unsettling. As soon as you fall asleep, you begin plummeting from the sky down to the wailing crowd. Just before impact, you snap awake, the pain shooting through your wing. It's already been 2 nights like this, and you wonder if you should tell Errol. But with her exam coming up, she will need to devote most of her time to practicing and preparing. You don't want to burden her with more of your problems. You can tell she's been struggling to balance her duties to the temple and her time with you. You're at the dining hall, which is lively at all hours. Both guests and acolytes come here to chat and take breaks. The massive space is brightly lit with magical light, and long wooden benches stretch from end to end. The smell of roasted meats and fresh bread wafts from the kitchen. Tonight, everyone is enjoying rabbit stew with blackberry pie and mulberry wine. You're sitting with an amiable family of half-elves. The youngest daughter, no older than maybe 3, is climbing onto the table, reaching to grab at your feathers. You lower your head to let her touch your tufts, but her mother pulls her back onto her lap and spoon-feeds another bite of the stew. The father wonders out loud what he imagines the unknown lands of the West will look like. In the corner, there is a rowdy bevy of New Everlon soldiers, still dressed in their uniforms, the signature lion's head engraved on the armors and shields. They are gathered in a circle, drinking and playing cards. They constantly call for an acolyte to bring more wine as though this is a tavern. You catch one soldier slapping the backside of a younger acolyte as she yelps and runs off. Moments later, a poised acolyte with a surprisingly muscular physique marches over to them, speaking firmly, arms folded. The soldiers quiet down, but as soon as he walks away, they begin snickering and raising their volume again. The other guests ignore them. You finally see Errol approaching you with her tray of food. You wave at her and gesture at the empty seat next to you. She smiles and begins to quicken her pace, but before she reaches you, she is called over by another acolyte. They whisper in her ear, and she glances back at you with a penitent expression before she sets down her tray and wolfs down spoonfuls of the stew. Then, she rushes over to your table. "I'm so sorry," she says. "Apparently, we ran out of holy water just now, so I need to help High Priestess Vavena make more. I'll be back later tonight." You glance at the empty spot you saved for her. "Oh, okay. I'll be in my room." "Thanks," she says, ready to go in for a hug, but she stops herself when she sees your bandages and arm brace. She pats you on the head and runs off. The mulberry wine is especially sweet, and the ephemeral rush of warmth to your face helps numb the pain in your wing and shoulder. As the night grows late, the half-elven family excuse themselves from the table. Most of the acolytes have also left to take care of their nightly duties. The soldiers in the corner are passed out, spilled wine dripping off the table. You wonder if this is your cue to turn in for the night as well, until you notice the halfling woman that you first met. She's watching you from the other end of the table. You have nothing better to do. You wave to her, motioning for her to come sit with you. There is an eagerness on her face, and she leaps off her chair, disappearing under the tabletop. Her seat in particular has steps behind it, and is a bit higher than the rest. You hear the pitter-patter of her footsteps before a tray rises into the air and slides onto the table. With some effort, she finally climbs onto the chair across from you. She remains standing, her head barely above the table. She smiles at you with large eyes blinking rapidly. "I'm sorry," you say. "I don't think I got your name." "I am Sister Diaris." "Oh, nice to meet you, Sister Diaris. Thanks again for taking care of me this whole time." "Of course. We seek to help anyone in need, but it's always an honor to aid someone as talented as you. You notice what appears to be the corner of a sheet of paper, a flyer, and a quill nestled under her tray. She immediately covers it with her hands. Her eyes dart away. "Oh," you say. "Do you want an autograph?" Her eyes light up. "If you don't mind." She jumps out of her seat again and scurries around the table to you. She hands you the flyer and pen, waiting expectantly. "You can sign anywhere." You study the flyer. It's from a competition last year, when you were considered the undisputed best aerial acrobat. This contest had a high turnout, and the obstacles were especially difficult to weave around. On this flyer, your performance name is advertised in big, bold letters. "Featuring Coney, the greatest flyer in the world. Will anyone be able to challenge the king? Come watch the most anticipated contest of the summer." Below is a sketch of you soaring through the air, a crown on your head. In retrospect, you know that soon after the contest, you would overhear a private conversation spearheaded by Cree, of all people, accusing you of everything, from taking performance enhancement spells to sleeping your way to first place with the judges. A mortifying discovery that your community, your supposed good friends, your lover, had nothing but contempt for you behind your back. You can still hear their laughter, each one punctuated, piercing through the walls of the room next door. How many of them are relishing in your injury now? In your efforts to prove them wrong and quash any doubts in your abilities, you instead worked yourself to the very brink. You brought this upon yourself. All that expectation, all that ambition, and for what? "We don't have many forms of entertainment out here," said Sister Diaris, "but we are sometimes called when the contests are short of healers or medics. Sister Errol has been talking about you for so long, I had to go see for myself. And, well, I've tried to watch every competition you've entered ever since." She speaks rapidly, as if she's pouring out all the words she's been wanting to say to you. "Thanks," you say. "I'm always happy to meet a fan." Will this be the last time you ever give someone an autograph? "I've always been curious," says Sister Diaris. "But why do you have a separate name for when you perform?" "Oh, Errol came up with the idea, actually. It was hard keeping my professional and personal life separate, so she told me to use a different identity. It didn't really work, but Coney is a catchier name than Ark." "I quite like Ark, although I can see why Coney is a fun name. I have to say I always recognize you regardless of your name. There's no other Aarakocra who looks quite like you." You laugh. "It's the owl's eyes, right?" Sister Diaris nods, laughing. "It's funny seeing such an old flyer," you say. "Wow, they really did put a crown on my head." "I think this contest was the moment I realized how talented you are." You force yourself to laugh. "How do you spell your name?" "Diaris." "Here you go." You hand back the flyer and quill, having written, "Thanks for supporting me and saving my life, Sister Diaris. Stay hootin'." She holds up the flyer, admiring it. "Thank you so much. If there's anything else I can do for you, please let me know." You look down at your empty bowl of stew. I know you guys do physical therapy, but do you also do things like healing your brain?" I'm sorry, I don't quite follow." "I was having a hard time sleeping last night because I kept having nightmares." "Ah, I see." She touches her finger to her chin. "I don't really know what kind of healing you can do, but if there's anything that you have to make me sleep through the night, or at least not have those nightmares." "Well, there is a spell that can temporarily calm your nerves, but I am not yet capable of performing this spell consistently. I believe High Priestess Vavinar or Sister Errol would be more able than I." "Oh, well, that's okay. You can use me as practice. Whenever I do a rehearsal run with real obstacles in the sky, I end up doing better since it's the real deal." "Are you sure?" asks Sister Diaris. You nod. "All right then. If you'll allow me, I'm happy to try. Errol didn't end up visiting you until very late into the night, after curfew. From outside your window, you watched as she and several other acolytes scrambled around across the temple grounds, attending to another batch of soldiers that had arrived without any warning. Before lights out, Errol arrives to remove your bandages and perform a long healing ritual. She completes the prayer, but you don't feel any different. Whatever ephemeral relief you think you feel goes away in a few minutes, but you can't bring yourself to tell her. Maybe this is one of those processes that takes a long time with continuous casting. Finally, she reapplies fresh bandages before helping you into bed. Your sleeping position is angled slightly upwards so that you can lie on your stomach while keeping your left arm raised. It's probably pitiful to look at. "Good night," says Errol, kissing the top of your head. "I'll see you in the morning. My schedule will be less packed tomorrow." "It's all right," you say. "Good night." "I'm sorry I couldn't come earlier. I was hoping we'd have some more time to hang out. I've missed you." "Don't worry. I know you're busy. I'm meeting a lot of interesting people here anyway." "That's good," says Errol, running her fingers through your feathers. "I know you still need to study, but don't stay up too late." She nods. She kisses you on the head again, and then blows out the candle and closes the door behind her. Her footsteps fade with each step, reaching the end of the hallway and then going down the stairs. You can tell she's trying to accommodate you, and it only makes you feel more like a burden. A few minutes later, Sister Diaris knocks and enters the room, as if she's been waiting for Errol to leave. She's holding a small prayer book close to her chest. "It took me some time preparing for this spell," she says, "but I am ready to try it out." "Thanks for staying up for me," you say. "It's no problem at all. Thank you for letting me practice on you." "You said it's temporary, right? How long does it last?" "Unfortunately, the spell lasts for only about a minute. Part of its usage in the past was to deter hostile enemies from fighting against you, giving you a moment to get away or de-escalate. But I believe it can also work if I time it properly. I will begin the spell if I see you in distress." You don't quite understand what she's saying, but you nod anyway. "Let's give it a shot." It turns out that the biggest obstacle to falling asleep is having a fan sitting right next to you, meticulously watching your every little muscle spasm. Your left arm is itchy, but you can't reach it. Eventually, though, sleep does take over. Your mind drifts off, and once more, you are in the sky. You know you're dreaming. It's peaceful and warm. You wonder if the spell worked. You fly freely for a moment, the sky clear and blue like a beautiful summer day. For the first time, your wings are unimpeded by the pain, and you breathe the fresh air, basking in the sunlight and the winds gliding off your feathers. You close your eyes and allow your body to soar for the first time. But when you open your eyes again, the skies have darkened, and clouds are forming, and a force grabs hold of you, taking control of your movements. Your left wing then snags against something sharp as it rips through your clothes. You're forcibly thrown, tumbling hundreds of feet down. You're dreaming. You know you're dreaming. You just need to reorient yourself, figure out where the sky is. But everything is spinning. You're imagining things. "Just fix it," you hear Coach say. "Fix it, you fucking moron." The sound of the cheering crowd rises and shifts into horrified screeching. Cutting through the noise is Errol's voice, shouting at you. Her cry is not of distress, but derision, mocking you and encouraging your death. All around you is a chanting, "Die, die, die, die." The cacophony swells around you, and you see the cold ground coming at you. You close your eyes. You've stopped. You open your eyes again. The ground is within inches of your face. Your body didn't lurch. It simply paused midair. The screeching goes away, and your surroundings disappear. The tension in your body eases up, but you still have no control of yourself. The sharp force entangling you fades, as does the pain in your wing. Soon, a warmth radiates from behind you. An inaudible but euphonic voice echoes. There's a ringing, but not in your ears. It's coming from within yourself. You can't place how it sounds, only how it feels. Comforting and strangely cathartic. No words are being spoken, and yet the emotions coalesce into a clear language. I am here. I am with you. The warmth travels up to your face, as though hands are gently caressing your head. You attempt to move and shift to the source of the voice, wherever it may be, but as you reach your arms out, the weariness of your body overtakes you. You yawn, your eyelids growing heavy, unable to resist. You feel the voice within you once more, coaxing you. Quiet your mind. I am with you. Do not worry. For now, sleep. When you open your eyes again, you're met with the soft glow of dawn. A gentle breeze rolls in, and the morning bells toll 6 times, announcing breakfast.